rise up to answer the call. Shadows scatter where a fire blaze. Victory losing a fearsome haze. We storm the gates, we break the line. The ground it shakes, the stars align. Opponents crumble in the fray. The tide is turned, we pave the way. Terrain was lost but now it is seized. The winds of war on our side have teased. Weapons clash like storms in the night. We press on boldly with endless fight. Territory taken, battle flags fly high. Every tear shed, now a warrior's cry. Our foes retreat into the gray. Disarray falls as night steals day. We storm the gates, we break the line. The ground it shakes, the stars align. Opponents crumble in the fray. The tide is turned, we pave the way. Raise, we stand our ground. Victory's roar, the only sound. The blind scars cut the scene. Battle's glory forever keen.
It's Friday night and we're all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Hey, hey, hey! It's Friday night, and are we ready to fight? We certainly are, Donald. Let's get it on. It's all in.
You're going to give yourself a heart attack doing that all in shouting if you're not careful.
Probably.
Good evening, John. Good evening, audience. How is everyone this evening?
Oh, they're not going to reply. Oh, of course, they can't speak to us. But we know that you're there at Troll Room. Shirini, Julie, Yorkshire Lad, Red Eye. Who else we got? Ray, David Nolan, not lurking for a change. See you there, David. Good, good. Dave Barnes, Emma Watts. Don't see Nectaritas. Who else we got? Anybody have missed early doors? No, I think that's us. At the moment in the chat, thank you. Nobody in the vertical chat yet, but feel free to jump in at any time. Most of the chat occurs on the horizontal stream, but, you know, just go where you want. Go where you want. I'm not going to prescribe anything to you. Well, Ed, I've got some tasks. Got some tasks today, right? Troll Room. Here's the task. I set a goal for 5. I set a goal for 5. What is it? What they call it? What do they call it? Those things where you donate money on YouTube. But don't worry about that. I'll take them anywhere. I'll take it anywhere. PayPal, Ko-fi, or just join the channel for 99p a week. And it's not even 99p a week. It's 99p a month. How cheap can you get? That's the lowest uptake, but 99p a month is nothing. So if you join the channel, if I get 5 people that donate tonight, no ads next week. Now, Ray said something about ads, but you shouldn't be having ads because this is not monetized. So if you're getting ads, I think there might be something wrong on your end, not mine. If you're on the vertical stream, you have got ads because you guys aren't even talking to me yet. Talk to me. I don't bite. Well, not that hard, do I, Ed? But
Only if you like them.
Jeez, we're starting off on the wrong foot straight away, aren't we? Right, so there's no ads tonight because I got enough donations last night. They timed me over. It wasn't here. Oh, ads penetrated his blood. I just love his. I love his turn of phrase. His turn of phrase. Right. Where are we? We are going to. What are we going to do? We're going to start with the divorce. We've got to start with the divorce, don't we?
It's pretty much the biggest thing. Well, there's been a lot of big things that happened this week, but that has to be one of the biggest and most amusing.
Because, is it real?
Well, that's a very good question. One that I can't answer. I mean, politics is theatre.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But it's been, I don't know. I mean, if it's not real, then Musk hasn't done himself any favors, and if it is real, Musk hasn't really done himself any favors. And well, these sorts of,
if it's not real, nobody's done themselves any favors because it looks juvenile. Let's be honest.
It looks very juvenile.
It looks like 12. It looks like 12-year-old girls on TikTok. That's what it looks like, right? This isn't how you're the president. This is the president of the United States of America. The president, just let us thinking, the president of the United States of America and the world's richest man behaving like 12-year-old girls on TikTok. Yeah.
TikTok.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just
absolutely. I mean, there was a time when these sorts of spats were had kind of in an adult way in private, but I guess not. And I mean, Elon he's kind of made himself look like a bit of a dick.
What age is Elon?
I don't know. No idea.
Ask Grok. Somebody ask Grok, what age is Elon? What was I going to say? Here's the next.
He's certainly older than 12.
Yeah, he's certainly, but he doesn't behave it. Right, so next task for you, the troll room, is apparently my voice tends to drop as the evening goes on, right? Which you know, it does because I tend to drink. And I make no excuse for that. I like it. If you don't, tough. But so my voice tends to drop. So I want you to keep my voice up. So if you hear me dropping off in the chat room, give me a jag, tell me, John, you're dropping off, or even better, drop me a donation. The siren will get me going. Do you like what I did there, Ed? Do you like what I did there?
Oh yeah, you're so smooth.
Why,
And don't forget to like the show as well, please. At the end, it really helps us.
It does. Grok says he's 53. So that makes him a Gen Xer, does it? Yeah. I wouldn't
That makes him a year older than me.
Yeah. But you look so much better, Ed. Yes, I know what everybody's thinking. Oh my God, it's Pride Month and these two have just embraced it, haven't they? Well, no, we haven't. Even though Ed does live in Brighton, I don't think he embraces the Pride Month, do you, Ed?
No, I tend to try to stay the hell away from Pride Month.
So yeah, Ed sent me this picture earlier, and if you know anything about Stalin, you'll know that this is a pretty famous picture where the guy that his right-hand man was erased from the picture because Stalin fell out with him. Well, did he have him executed? I think he might have.
I think it might have been Felix Jasinski.
Yeah.
Or Trotsky or someone. Might have been Trotsky.
Right.
Who of course was ended with an ice pick in Ecuador or Mexico or somewhere. But yeah, I mean it's a classic because it was also something that used to happen during the communist period where people would fall out of favor and suddenly their pictures would disappear from everybody. From everywhere, rather.
Yeah. So I thought that was particularly apt. I mean, this is like a messy divorce. It's like there are people on Twitter having meltdowns. It's like when mum and dad fight. The kids are sitting in the corner going, "Oh, don't fight, mum and dad, don't fight."
Well, some people are they're so brainwashed on one side or the other. They're either Trump fanboys or Elon fanboys, and it's just just grow up.
I don't know.
Seriously.
I don't know, Dave. I don't know who the daddy is. I wouldn't presume to answer that one. So some of the takeaways are fantastic, though. Elon did it last night. He dropped the big, as he called it, the big bomb. It's time to drop the really big bomb. The real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they've not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Now, this is actually quite a biggie, and more possibly quite problematic for Elon if it's not true, right? Because if he's not true, he's leaving himself open to a solid defamation case, is he not?
Potentially. I mean, certainly if it was in the UK, he would be, but because America's got different laws regarding things like that, I'm not sure what it is in America, but it's more the fact that it's it's really not the done thing. I mean, it's and also
damnably not the done thing. That dastardly deed that's been committed here. Stiff upper lip and all that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's plenty of pictures that have floated around on the internet for a very long time with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. So
yeah,
there's a big difference between flying on his plane and being in a flight log and actually doing bad things on the island. But
I've got a video. I'm not
it's
playing
just a bit classless. It's just, I mean, the thing is that you can't take on the president. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. Taking the president of the United States on is never a good idea.
I know. So Donald goes, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Elon files straight back with, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning the Dragon spacecraft immediately. That would be interesting.
Well, it's I would, if I was an astronaut, I'd be very worried because it means that the only American way that they've got to get up to the ISS is Boeing, and the last time Boeing tried that, SpaceX had to rescue the astronauts. And other than that, it's do a deal with the Russians.
Back to Russia.
Play nice with the Russians and hope that they'll send your stuff into orbit for you.
Yeah, back to Emperor Palpatine. Sorry, Vladimir Putin. I'm getting carried away with my Star Wars stuff that I've been doing on Snarky Cinema. Go and check it out. I'm enjoying it. Some people aren't. Some people are. Right, so keep this in. You sent this to me. Keep this in mind when looking at this contrived fight with Trump and Elon Musk. Now you're going to have to explain this one to me, mate. I'm lost here. The entire reason for Elon working with Doge was to set up a Palantir-powered police state surveillance database system throughout government agencies through the backdoor of Doge, which Trump just signed off on. Their mission has been a resounding success. Just to recap, Elon Musk was brought into the government under the guise of Doge to work with Palantir to create a backdoor for them to put all American sensitive information into a Palantir database and facilitate AI governance transformation. A few days, this sounds like freaking the ramblings of a madman. It really
does. It is, yeah, it's very rabbit holey, but this is, I mean, one of the reasons I sent it to you is not necessarily because I believe it, but because it illustrates the height of absolute bonkersness that we've had this week. Now, it's also taking a bunch of different stories, because I mean, what Palantir is doing is genuinely scary, and it's not just the US, it's the UK, and their freakazoid CEO Alex Karp, who's just creeps me out non-stop.
Yes, he is. He's a strange chap, isn't he?
Now, but they're basically conflating Doge and Palantir. Now, was Doge a backdoor for Palantir? I'm not quite so sure about that, because I don't think Palantir necessarily needs to have a backdoor because they're already in the door. Palantir. But it just illustrates just how crazy things are.
So this is the guy who's the CEO of Palantir. Calls Columbia.
Which one?
We're looking at it right now.
Oh, that's him, yeah.
Palantir CEO calls Colombia anti-Israel protests pagan and says he's dreamed of drones striking his enemies.
He's a really creepy dude. I mean, he said some genuine. You get the impression that he would be quite happy to round up everyone that's to the right of himself and lock them away or drone them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, Palantir was set up it was essentially set up to take the Bush era TIA, the Total Information Awareness Program, out of the government and put it into the private sector where it would have less scrutiny. But Palantir is talking about a master database, like the one ring equivalent of a database, one database to rule them all. And putting all of Americans' data in it, and they probably want another one for the UK, and they're probably in all of the Five Eyes countries.
Yeah, well,
it's just
person of interest, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Stasi on steroid with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, yeah. It'll happen, people. I mean, we can resist that as much as we like, but it will happen at some point. You just have to get creative or whatever. Right.
Well, anyway. Your anti-facial recognition T-shirt that you were wearing a few weeks ago, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's start with stuff like that. Why not? Doge designer said, Trump tweeted, "I'm very disappointed with Elon. I've helped him a lot. He knew the inner workings of the bill better than anyone." He's talking about his big, beautiful bill. Than anybody sitting here. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden, he had a problem and only developed a problem when he found out we're going to cut the EV mandate. False, says Elon. The bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it.
Which is true, because they used a bit of not subterfuge, but they used a congressional mechanism where things were added in as amendments, and it was all done late at night, and then they had about 90 seconds in between the text coming out and having to vote for it.
Yeah.
So it was done in the dead of night, and nobody really could read it. Which, I mean, if a government bill is kind of above board and not is genuine, then why the hell can't people scrutinize it first? It was like the USA Patriot Act that they brought in after 9/11. Same thing. And
yeah, the one that was temporary and was going to be rescinded once we calmed everything down. That one.
It's always temporary.
Yeah.
Income tax was supposed to be temporary.
Well, it was. They did actually stop it. Because it was initially to pay for the Napoleonic Wars, and after they'd paid that back, they stopped it for a year and then thought, what the hell are we doing? Let's start this back up again. We're losing far too much money. And ever since then, they have continued to steal your money because they don't need it. They steal it. There are plenty of countries, in fact, the wealthiest countries in the world don't tax their citizens. Just look it up, people. Just look it up. Right. Dimitri is like a shark. He smells blood in the water. So he jumps in.
You just gotta love him.
You do. We are ready to facilitate the conclusion of a peace deal between D and E for a reasonable fee and to accept Starlink shares as payment. Don't fight, guys. Well, currently Tesla's lost about $1.5 billion off its shares, according to Nectaridis. Evening, Nick. So there we go. Kim Jong-un, this is a classic. Kim be a rocket man now. Fuck that asshole. Yeah, you gotta love that.
Then Vladimir Putin's offered to negotiate a peace deal between President Trump and Elon Musk. The Russians are troll masters. I mean, Dmitry Medvedev is like the supreme troll master. But there's nothing the Russians seem to love more than trolling.
Right, okay, let's try and lighten things up a bit. General reminder, ISIS was created by the US government to fight the Shiite, who were armed by the US government to fight Saddam, who were armed by the US government to fight Iran, who hates us because the US government overthrew their elected leader and installed a brutal dictator. Well, that kind of does put a kind of, well, it's not a different light. That's the kind of history of the immediate Middle East.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's boiled down perfectly. Yeah.
So, Team America, world police. What can you say?
Well done, guys.
Well done. Right, this is a classic. So the EU have basically put Finnair out of business, haven't they? How did they do this, Ed? How did they do that?
Oh, this one had me in stitches. Essentially what's happened is that because of EU sanctions of Russian airspace, the Russians have sanctioned EU airlines. And Finnair was only making money because they had access to a polar route to get from Europe to Asia, which happened to overfly Russia. And so that has now been taken away from them. So the entire airline is basically going down the toilet, along with the rest of the Finnish, Estonian, Latvian, and Lithuanian economies, because they were so bound up with the Russians that if you try and once you start banning and closing off and everything else, that it is literally cutting off your nose to spite your face, that old English expression. And it's so appropriate in this case. I mean, it's just
classic.
And they're so, it is completely classic, and they're so stupid. You can't, I mean, they've genuinely seemed to have taken leave of their senses. Russophobia is a serious disease. I mean, they need to come up with a vaccine for it or something.
Right, okay. So back to Dimitri. So he sends us this little, in fact, this is one of yours. You can read this one out.
Mertz is in the same boat as the typhoid louse. I think he's referring to Scholz. Oh no, I think it's Zelensky. Trump openly alluded to the Chancellor's Nazi proclivities by noting the Normandy landings must have been unpleasant for him. Well done. For a moment, the Chancellor felt like the Banderite knit during his Oval Office visit. So yeah, he's referring to Zelensky, but this and. Because I mean, Scholz was sitting in the Oval Office and brought up the Normandy landings. This is the German Chancellor bringing up the Normandy landings, and Trump just made a nice little comment there.
Has he never heard the phrase "Don't mention the war"?
Yeah.
Don't mention the war. Dear. Right, okay, right. Mentioning war, actually, Ukraine carried out 4 bombings on civilian trains in Russia the other day. They did, and on one of them, they apparently delayed the actual implementation of the firing sequence until the bridge fell on the train that was approaching, rather than just blow the bridge up. So that was nice. That's tantamount to terrorism, even on a war footing.
It's not tantamount to terrorism.
Well, it is terrorism.
I mean,
let's call a spade a spade.
Well, yeah, I mean, striking Russian military airfields and attacking Russian military strategic aircraft, as stupid
Okay.
and pointless as it was, that is a genuine military target. Taking out trains and civilians and killing children, that is terrorism.
Well, actually, I've got to ask you, is that let's wait until we get to that slide, because my question is that a genuine military target? And I mean, I'll explain that.
Well, yeah, no, we can come to that in a bit, but
Yeah.
ultimately, and also, this has all of the hallmarks of British intelligence on it.
Oh,
Because this is the main good. Well, this is, I mean, it was the thing that they did
like sex.
in France during the Second World War,
Yeah.
which it doesn't actually affect anything. I mean, the train lines that they took out, the Russians had them back up and running again in less than half a day. But it's this particular train thing absolutely stinks to high heaven of British intelligence, and it
It does.
I mean, it just shows you how utterly evil those people are,
Yeah.
and
So
also pointless and stupid as well.
right. The governor of what was that? One American region said 7 dead. Not enough. That was a very nice thing to say. Some of these people really don't think before they open their gob, do they?
No,
I mean,
no, they don't. But then they'll scream. I mean, if you hear the gnashing of teeth and the wailing at the Russian response, because okay, the Ukrainians attacked the Russians. Now the Russians have basically opened up with Iskander strikes and everything else,
Yeah.
and they're all screaming. It's
Yeah,
like
I know.
Ukraine can do whatever the hell they like to the Russians. They can kill as many civilians. They can attack the Donbass. They can do whatever the hell they like. And as soon as the Russians respond, it's unprovoked invasion.
But of course they can, because that's propaganda. That's how it works. And you know, that's our propaganda. The only difference is, because of the internet, we actually get the opportunity to see the other side as well at the same time, which no one ever had in the past. You only got, you had like Lord Haha and things like that, but you know, you didn't really get a true view of what was going on the other way, and now we do.
You can't get it from the horse's mouth.
You can't.
And also that's why that's why they're so keen to. They want to censor the internet, and they close down all the Russian news channels, and they've made it very, very difficult for people who just watch television, for example.
Yeah.
And who are not necessarily technically minded. They've made it almost impossible to get an opinion from the Russian side, unfortunately, because we've got social media and Twitter and Telegram and a few other places where we can actually get uncensored news.
Yeah.
We do, like you said, we now have this ability to see what the other side says and actually get video footage from the other side and video footage from our own side, and then make up our minds.
Indeed we can. Right, moving on. We have, for years, Ukraine makes fun of Russians covering planes with tiles, joking how stupid this is. Now we finally know the purpose of the tiles. The tiles are in place on different aircraft to make them look operational. I don't know how it makes them look operational, but anyway. NATO reconnaissance noted all the planes on the airfield and gave the positions to Ukraine. Everyone assumed that tiles are meant for protection, hence planes with tiles are priority targets. So the Ukrainian drone pilot saw the tiles, started laughing and attacked the expensive A-50 AWACS planes, but the tiles were placed on some planes that are used for spare parts for decades and miss engines and most inner workings. So in the end, the tiles tricked Ukraine into saving at least 2 planes.
I mean, it just goes to show you the caliber of people that we're dealing with. They're so wrapped up in this completely fake idea that the Russians are totally incompetent and the Russian military is useless and all their equipment sucks and everything else. And it's so racist. I mean, we talk about racism, and they're just being bitten in the arse continuously, time after time after time, and they don't learn. They don't stop and reevaluate and say, actually, these guys are a bit more clever than we thought they had, and they've got a bit more capacity for industrial production and war fighting than we thought they had. No, we just blunder on with the same, the Russians wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they got all the chips out of washing machines, didn't they?
Well, yeah, and they're fighting with
shovels,
Spetsnaz broomsticks and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
shovels.
Yeah.
So
shovels and
General Mike Flynn goes, so it appears Zelensky gave the go-ahead to attack parked Russian nuclear-capable bombers. This is this dodgy part, right? Without informing Donald Trump. If true, that means our president was not consulted nor informed. This isn't simply a breach of protocol, it's a geopolitical insult and a warning. Now, Olga, your pal, Olga, has kicked back at him with, I think, a fair response. With all due respect, General, this had to be done with absolute knowledge and participation of the US and UK intelligence services. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. This reeks of sex, and the US had to provide the targeting. It's the satellite network's theirs. You know, who else is going to do it? We don't have it. We don't have a satellite network that covers Russia. The
thing is, they're saying that this attack took 18 months to plan, in which case the planning was initiated under the Biden regime. And it's entirely possible that, I mean, if Trump didn't know, it looks bad. And if Trump did know, it looks equally bad.
Yeah. Trump's not winning it in this one. It's like, I mean, people argue about, they argued about me yesterday saying I was a bit disappointed with Donald and his behaviour and the way that he's conducting himself and not following through with his promises, because Donald was going to have this done in 24 hours, remember? And he could. He still could, because all he needs to do is turn off the tap, which he did for 3 days. But then I was told he can't do anything because it was all set in stone under the Biden man. I don't think it was. I think he can still turn off the tap, but he won't do it.
Well, he turned off intelligence sharing for a week to get the Ukrainians to agree to a ceasefire.
Exactly. And, you know, and ultimately it meant nothing, because the first thing they did was break it. They even broke it before the Russians had broken it. Ukraine and Europe don't want this to end. So the only way to make it end is to accelerate it to the ending, which means if he turns off the tap, less people will actually die. Because at the moment, all you're doing is drip feeding the meat grinder.
Yeah.
Which is quite disgusting, really. I find it quite abhorrent of the US to be sitting there with and they're doing this in another country as well that we don't really talk about that much. But again, if they turned off the tap, but they can't turn off the tap with that one, because, like we've discussed before, Ed, I don't think they're the boss. I think they're owned. I think the tail is definitely wagging the dog.
Oh, big time! Yeah, absolutely. It's the whole thing is. It's like you said. It's abhorrent. I can't think of a better word for it. It really is. I mean, it's like human lives don't matter to these people at all. They just don't care. They don't care how many Ukrainians die. They don't care how many Russians die. They don't care about how many anyone dies. I mean, even if it's just people, it's like bombing Yemen, for example. I mean, it sickens me. It really does, to think that these people are supposed to be our leaders, and they like to take the moral high ground. And they're just basically all grubby little terrorists. I mean, it's disgusting. Let's move on. I'm going to start properly ranting.
Yeah, okay. You cannot win, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Didn't stop the little douchebag from trying, though.
Yeah, no longer negotiations with Ukraine, says Mr. Putin. He's announced an end to peace talks. Well, you can understand that, because let's face it, if you really wanted peace, you wouldn't launch an attack on a superpower's nuclear strike capability, which is what Tu-95s are. Yeah, they're old. In fact, they're ancient, but they're still capable of delivering nuclear weapons. Now, the problem is, under the SALT agreement, which admittedly, Russia hasn't continued with after 2023, but probably with good reason, but they're still adhering to the principles that were agreed under that term, which was you kept all your nuclear bombers in the open on the runway so as that both sides could see them with a satellite at all times. Now, that's going to go now, because they're not going to do this anymore, are they?
No, I think they're still going to do that. I mean, I think they'll step up security around the air bases and stuff, but the strategic nuclear thing is between Russia and the United States, and it was set up that way because it makes sense for both sides. So I think it makes sense for them to continue it. But it was, I mean, it was a bloody dangerous provocation on the part of Ukraine, because Russian nuclear doctrine says that if their nuclear facilities are targeted, that they reserve the right to respond with nuclear weapons, which is exactly what those psychopaths in Kiev were hoping for, and probably London as well.
So, but
the climate crisis.
But the Guardian.
We're going to move on to this climate crisis one.
No, well, yeah, the Guardian obviously has its finger on the pulse and realizes that climate crisis means more than possible World War III.
I'm so sick of climate zealots. I've had a week. We've had a week of Miliband acting like a complete crazy person in his stupid little videos.
I don't think he's acting.
No, I don't think he's acting either.
I think he is crazy.
I think he's he's a crazy little zealot. I mean,
yeah.
And I mean, the Guardian is such a waste of time. I don't understand how anyone reads that nonsense. Anyway, everything that they produce is just cack.
Right. So let's move on. So Trump spoke with Putin after the attack, apparently, and we don't know who initiated the call. I'm led to believe that Mr. Trump got a bit of an ear ragging from
Not
Putin.
Surprised.
Yeah. And might that have something to do with his behaviour, i.e. taking it out on Elon afterwards, because he was there and he was able to thrash out at him? I don't know.
It might be. I mean, Trump is not necessarily the most adult person in the room, unfortunately. And he has a tendency to make statements like that and to think that he's the big bad boss and that everybody has to do what he says. And the Russians are just like, nope, we're not doing it. Because I think Trump even called Putin. One of the things he actually asked Putin is for the Russians not to respond. And I think the Russians might have dialed down their response a little bit, but they still made it very strong. And Putin just in no uncertain terms says, no, we can't, I've got to respond. Absolutely have to. And I mean, this is what you do.
Nick Torridis says the West's desperation to destroy Russia for all the resource. Yeah, well, I mean, Russia's a resource-heavy country with very little people in it, actually, to be fair. Mm-hmm. Right, moving on. Bankrupting Ukraine. Russia's return of 6,000 bodies of Ukrainian soldiers could be a financial blow to Zelensky's regime, because under the Ukrainian government rules, they must pay the families of each of them 15 million hernias. I don't know what currency.
I can never pronounce that.
I don't know what currency they're using there.
Or hernias? I don't know.
It looks like something out of the line, The Witch in the Wardrobe or something, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just Ukrainian
a lot of money.
Ukrainian monopoly money.
Yeah.
I actually saw a story just before.
It's $2.1 billion, for 6,000 bodies.
A lot of money, but apparently the Russians they sent a whole bunch of refrigerated trucks to the agreed spot, and the Ukrainians have refused to take them because they say there's no refrigeration space or morgue space in Ukraine. Which may well be true, but it's probably more likely the fact that they don't want to have to pay this money out because they haven't got any money.
Yeah. I think that's more likely. Yeah, because they've also declared that soldiers missing won't be paid out until 2 years after the war finishes. Ukraine has, because they don't have any money. Yeah, because
there won't have any people left by the rate they're going, are there?
They won't. This is the man of the people out there doing some shopping. You can't even see him. He's surrounded by that many bodyguards.
And they're all French.
Yeah.
He's being I thought he was being protected by, I thought it was the SAS, but it's not, it's the French. It's his bosom buddy Macron.
Has provided a protection detail for him. That says a lot, doesn't it?
It really does, because there was literally they cleared everyone out of the shop, and it's just him and his wife, and all of his bodyguards. And the way that the mainstream media framed the shot, you just see him with one or two bodyguards in the background. You don't see it from this perspective.
Yeah.
Goes back to what you were saying earlier on about
Propaganda.
It's now the days of the internet, and we have access to more information than just that which they want us to see and know.
Yeah. You sent me this. This was something you got to seek out the video, people. As you know, I don't.
You
play
got to watch the video.
I don't play
video.
I don't play videos because we end up with copyright. But Ukrainian driver of a striker APC took a break, comfort break, shall we say? Russian recon soldiers snuck up and stole the APC. And you can then see the Ukrainian driver running behind it. This is the Ukrainian driver here, the little person here. He is running behind this APC, which picks up speed and leaves him behind. It's so funny. All you need is the Benny Hill tune on it, and it would be complete. And now to something that isn't very nice at all, right? So this is allegedly, this is another video, and I'm not suggesting you seek this one out, but apparently these are Ukrainian deserters being dispatched, shall we say, by Ukrainian army regulars.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them get popped, and the third one, the one nearest us, gets up, tries running, and they still dispatch him.
You wouldn't want to be a man in Ukraine. I mean, those three were probably press ganged, kidnapped off the streets. I mean, there was a video of they've got these Ukrainian recruiters have got a new tactic where they order a burger on Ukrainian Deliveroo, and the Deliveroo driver shows up, and they conscript him. I mean, they're literally picking people up off the streets, chucking them into a uniform, sending them out to the front line, and if they don't do what they're told, they get shot in the head by their own people.
Starmer will be listening. He could be using that next.
Oh.
That would be funny if Ben ever get conscripted that way. Anyway, right, moving on. I don't like that term, David. I find that particularly horrible way of describing something. When, let's just say killed, shall we? Anyway, in the spirit of, I never thought Ukraine was into like Pride Month and all that, but they appear to have generated a Ukrainian military patch for Pride Month, which appears to show Ukrainian soldiers having some kind of circle jerk. I mean, that's who thought that was a good idea? Really? I mean, really?
I have no idea. You honestly think that maybe people should, I don't know, take a step back and like think it over, look at it from multiple angles, show it to a few of your friends and see what they think before you actually turn it into a patch. I mean, what the hell?
As David says, Starmer was these three twinks.
Nice one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right. This is one of yours. Tell me about this one.
Well, this one is this is pretty creepy because Pegasus is spyware that a certain country can put on your phone. Doesn't even require. All they have to know is your phone number. They don't need you to open an email or interact with it at all.
Country being a kind of state that was created in 1947 in the Middle East.
Well, it's the flag. You can see it on the screen.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
But yeah, so he's the Spanish president Pedro Sanchez was warned because the Spanish have taken they've taken a stance against said Middle Eastern country, and the ambassador of that country said, "My government has not yet responded with revelations from Pegasus," which just goes to show you that they are blackmailing all of our leaders and getting them to do what they want.
Yeah.
Which is pretty bloody scary when you think about it.
I've actually said this about 3 or 4 times this week alone on X, and I'm not going to name names, but what I said was, if you enable a group of people that are exempt from any criticism, they will eventually take full advantage of that situation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think you might know who I mean.
Well, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to do what they're doing if it wasn't for that fact.
Yep. Right. China. Drinking game. China discovered an underground source of energy for the next 4,000 years. That underground source of energy is hot rocks. Hot rocks. Did you look into it?
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely fascinating because this is not just something that the Chinese could take advantage of. It's something that lots of different countries around the world could take advantage of, which is where you go really, really deep. I think maybe half a mile or something. I might be wrong about the distance. But essentially it's tapping into super deep geothermal energy. And there's almost an infinite supply of it, which kind of puts all of this net zero nonsense to shame. I mean, the Chinese are busy finding new sources of energy that will last 4,000 years. And our own sort of zealot of a energy minister is wanting to put solar panels on houses in the country that gets some of the least sun in the world, and under a government that's already admitted that they're going to start dimming the sun. So, and to cap it off, did you know solar panels can catch fire? Because they can.
Oh yeah, of course they can. But yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it, mate. I mean, the whole thing's
Me neither.
It's just a complete and it's a circle jerk. That's all it is. Right, let's
It's
move
about
on.
control. It's got much more to do with control than anything else.
Right, Latvian deputy. I don't know what that other word was, and I don't know what his name is. Was removed from a parliamentary meeting after shouting in Russian, "The Russian language is our language." Alexei spoke against the new draft resolution declaring the Russian language criminal. That is freaking ridiculous. 25% of the population of Latvia are Russian speakers. 25%. They're basically Russians. You can't make a... I mean, how can you make a language criminal? This is outrageous. This is Nazism. Is it not?
I think so. I think it's also designed to provoke the Russians because they'd like nothing more than for Russia to invade one of the Baltics, and the Baltics can then invoke Article 5, and suddenly we've got World War III on our hands.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, it's something about, ever since the whole Russia-Ukraine thing started, this demonization of Russia. They're not allowed to compete in the Olympics. They're not allowed in Eurovision. The Russian language is being banned. I mean, what was it? The story we covered a couple of weeks ago, where the Lithuanians are grinding Russian stuff off of their manhole covers.
Yes, that's right.
Because their economy is so broken, and they can't afford to replace the manhole covers completely.
Yeah, yeah. So they're grinding this. It's not even Russian. It's CCCP. It's Soviet Union. Yeah.
But it's a tax on Russian speakers. It's a tax on the Russian Orthodox Church. This is not how civilized human beings behave. This is how assholes behave.
Yeah. Speaking of arseholes.
Oh my God! Let's just make the UN completely irrelevant and appoint Annalena 360 as. I mean, at least she's the head of the UN Assembly, which, I mean, she's basically the head of the General Assembly.
Yeah.
So I guess it's an administrative and she'll find some way to screw it up, guaranteed. But it's I just, words fail me. I don't understand how people that are this stupid get such big jobs.
Of course they do, because you get promoted to your level of incompetence. You stay in the place long enough, you get promoted to the level where you're totally incompetent.
Yeah.
If I'd stayed in the police, I reckon I could have been a superintendent at least. Right. But
you just can't make it up, honestly. Well, she's completely useless as well. She's an absolute idiot. This one.
I don't think cockroaches have got nipples.
They
certainly don't feed their young like mammals do. So I think the whole term milk here is been used in a kind of fast and loose manner.
It's the same. I mean, when they say scientists discover, I almost always just switch off because it's like they hold these scientists up like they actually know something about something, and they're basically just being paid by whoever it is that is producing this cockroach milk.
Yeah.
And the whole notion that people will start drinking it just because the scientists said it's more nutritious.
You can't.
No, I'm not drinking cockroach milk. I'll stick to my cow's milk lattes. Thank you very much.
You can't milk an almond, an oat, or a soya bean. So these products are not milk, and never will be.
And I just don't trust it.
No,
I just don't. I don't trust eating insects because if humans were supposed to be insects, we'd have been eating them for thousands of years, and we haven't been.
Well,
I know parts of Africa. I mean, I have eaten insects before because when I was a kid, one of my friends, their parents ran a Kapenta farm on Lake Kariba. Kapenta are like a little tiny fish it's a little bit like whitebait, a little bit smaller. Mm-hmm. And they were introduced to Lake Kariba from Lake Tanganyika, and they took off. And they have these big pontoon boats that go out every night. And if you're staying out there, you'll see it because you have this line of lights on the horizon because they put a light down with the net, which attracts the fish.
UFOs.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And anyway, the cruise, the flight in certain times of the year, you get flying ants. And the crews will basically, the flying ants swarm around the nets that are on the boat, and the crew grab them and barbecue them and crunch down on them. And yeah, whatever. Not the nicest thing I've ever eaten, but I mean, it's.
Well, we eat prawns.
So
we eat prawns and I mean, crustaceans are basically insects, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but at the same time, sure. The thing is that there isn't anyone in Zambia, and Zambians eat. There's caterpillars that there are various bugs that they do eat, but there's absolutely none of them that would take bugs over a steak or some actual fish.
Yeah, or a monkey. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. That's how we got AIDS. What?
No. Don't start with the AIDS coming from shagging monkeys.
No, eating them, bushmeat. It came from simian adenovirus. Came from eating bushmeat.
It came from inoculations.
Oh, you can't say that. Good grief, my good man. You know where you are. No, it came from bushmeat. Right, anyway, experts claim that air raid sirens could be used to let people know when a new COVID strain is circulating, leading to quicker queuing for vaccines. Yeah, that's going to work.
It's really going to. I mean, I can just see an air raid siren. People, the air raid. So when the air raid siren is going off, do we need to seek shelter or go and get a jab? I mean, is the air raid siren going to sound off in a different way for war and a different way for a pandemic? I mean, how are people going to tell the difference?
You know, they still sound the air raid sirens every Wednesday at 2:00 in France.
Do they?
Well, they did where I lived.
I mean, given the UK's infrastructure problems, do we even have any working air raid sirens?
We used to. We used to have a whole system. In fact, I might actually make a video of it because we used to have a nuclear warning attack alert system that was through every police station, and we could activate the air raid sirens that were in every council building. But I don't know if they're still. Well, I know the alert system's gone. It's not there anymore.
Well, the roads are all knackered, so I'm sure the nuclear warning system is probably in just as good a state as the road.
Oh no, it's gone. The nuclear warning alert system that we had is totally gone because it used to drive you nuts. Because if you were working in we called it you call it the bar, the bit where you're working in behind the counter. You called it the uniform bar, and when we were working in there was this box in the corner that used to go beep. Beep, beep. And they used to do that all the time. And if it ever stopped, you were supposed to be worried. Yeah, Dave, every Wednesday afternoon in and certainly in the village I was living in, the air raid siren would be sounded at 2:00 every Wednesday. Because, of course, nobody was at work.
If you're trying to get an afternoon nap in.
Nobody's at work on a Wednesday afternoon because France still has a half day on Wednesdays. This doesn't include cities. Forget cities because cities don't count. But anyway, right, moving on. CIA in Hollywood, CIA in real life. We must keep America safe. Let's see how much LSD it takes to make him retarded. Yeah, I think that's pretty much accurate, actually, Ed. You sent me that, and I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA got up to some weird shit.
Oh, I mean, MK Ultra is one of the deepest, darkest, nastiest rabbit holes that there is.
Yeah.
I mean, including to the point of them just, I think at one point at the CIA, they went through a phase where they were just chucking LSD in people's coffee and stuff just to see what would happen.
Yeah. Right, the Vikings were not all white and some were Muslim. Pupils to be told in effort to ditch. Hold on. Why do we want to ditch Eurocentric ideals? What's wrong with being Eurocentric if you live in Europe?
It's racist.
How is it?
Well, because white people are all racist.
How are we?
Anything white. Look, John, it should be clear to you at this point in 2025 that white people are racist devils. And there's no such thing as racism coming from black or Indian or anyone else. Nobody else can be racist apart from white people. And the Vikings were clearly transgender, half-caste black people. I mean, there's a Swedish documentary on Swedish television about the original Swedes, and it had black people in it. I mean,
and Berlin was black, wasn't she?
It's just this.
According to the BBC.
Well, the thing is that why is it that we're the only ones that are supposed to be inclusive and diverse? Because if you go to Egypt, which I've done many times,
mm-hmm.
there's no positive. We need to get non-Egyptians in. I mean, if you look at the way that countries like Egypt treat people who enter their country illegally,
mm-hmm.
It's not pleasant.
Yeah, I know.
And so they're trying to make all white people hate themselves, and we have to act like we're the only bad people. We were the only ones who took slaves. We're the only ones who did anything bad in the world ever.
There's nothing to do with the fact that the British Empire almost single-handedly ended slavery in most of the world. I mean, there are certain places, mainly the Middle East, that still have slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those black slaves are run by Arabs.
Yeah, and even when slavery was happening in Africa, a lot of the black slaves were sold to the white people by other black people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not condoning slavery, but to say that it's just the white people that are bad here it's not fair.
7,000, it's something like 7,000 or something black slaves were shipped across the Atlantic, and 17 million were shipped to Arabia.
And then there was vast numbers of slaves that were taken by the Phoenicians from places like Cornwall, which nobody ever talks about.
Yeah. Ray says who owned the slave ships. There weren't that many, mate. There was only 7,000 people shipped across to America. Most of the slaves went on foot to Arabia. So work that one out. You know where the slave ships don't matter? When people are walking to their deaths. Right, SNP. Now, the SNP, there was a by-election in Lanarkshire, Hamilton, I think. And the SNP said the only way to keep reform out is to vote for the SNP. And they didn't. They didn't vote for the SNP. So reform didn't win. Labour won the seat. Now, it was pretty tight, but Labour won the seat over Reform, which is
just good.
Well, you see, the thing is, the Scottish people, while we are stupid on occasion, Scottish people can smell a Tory no matter what you clothe it in. And the problem is, Reform is really just a Conservative Party with a different name, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always thought reform is essentially Uniparty Plan B
Yeah.
or Plan C.
Reform's not about reform. They're not going to save you. There's no saviours in the government system that we have. There is none.
No, you can see that just with the way they treated Rupert Lowe.
And did you see what Elon Musk tweeted the other day or yesterday as well? Should we start a new government party that represents the real people? For fuck's sake, Elon, talk about jumping ship really quickly. Oh, right.
He does have a point.
He does, but you know. Right, who would wear this?
I didn't see this one.
This smell of it.
I don't know why you'd want to smell like a sausage roll.
No, you wouldn't, mate. You wouldn't. Right, let's go to the Green Goblin herself, our little lovely friend Greta, who has been eating the pies because she's got a couple of chins hiding under there. Much like myself. Right, so Greta, it all started on the right. Greta on board the Freedom Flotilla ship as she set to head to Gaza alongside 11 other free Palestinian activists. Thunberg is heading to Gaza to demand an end to the siege and to apartheid. Breaking, Greta Thunberg's boat has decided to stop its attempt to reach Gaza in order to instead pick up illegal migrants from a dinghy and take them to Europe, according to this news outlet.
Well, technically, that's it. It's kind of the law of the sea. That if
yes, it is.
Call them the nearest ship, and they were the nearest ship.
Yeah, but you know,
it's a bit fishy.
It's very fishy. So, 8 hours before that, or something like it, Greta and her crew are now spotting drones over the Gaza-bound flotilla and are calling out, "We need your help." Then, we've just received a distress call, most probably from a boat leaving Libya, according to Frontex. We're the closest, so we're changing direction for 2 hours to get there and rescue the boat. In yellow, our initial trajectory. In green, our current direction.
It's the perfect way to divert.
Did I not? I calls it out because.
I mean, ultimately, I think that the people on that boat are really brave because there's it is entirely possible that this Middle Eastern government that we've talked about already in the show.
Oh, they'll either sink the boat or put them all in jail. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they could sink it. I mean,
that's what I said. They'll either sink the boat or put them all in the jail. But you watch the Judge Napolitano, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's his name? Ray McGovern did this on a ship.
Yeah.
Last time round, and they decided once it got close, they decided, fuck this for a game of Sojis. We're out of here, and turned around. Because they knew they were going to get blown out of the water. So someone, Craig Campbell or something like that, said, I suspect this might be a trap luring them in. And I goes, no, it's not a trap. It's called backtracking, coming to grips with reality and thinking we can plausibly exit here. And my God, I got pelters for that one, right? From all the activists. But ultimately, I think I was right. Yeah,
we'll see. Time will tell.
Well, they're heading to Europe with their illegal migrants.
And they're not still on their way to. I thought they were still headed towards. Where?
No, they've given up. They're taking their illegal migrants that they've rescued to Europe.
Why can't they take them back to Libya? We've got enough of the bloody one.
Oh no, they've got. Well, it's Greta.
Ridiculous.
Johnny and John's come out with I don't think it's a controversial statement at all, actually. I think you might be all be right, mate. On this occasion, I'm 100% behind you. I'll let Ed read it himself. Right, let's move on. PE at school when we were kids. Walking across an upside-down gym bench. That's true. You had to do that. Do you remember doing that?
No.
Do you not remember? Right, so I would say in the 70s and 80s, PE at school was all about mocking the people that couldn't do PE, right? In order to make them better people. So
Right.
people that weren't good at PE or weren't good at sports, they always got mocked or picked last or whatever, and they always tried harder to become better people. And I think it worked, because look at the kids today. They're fucking useless. They cry if they don't get a participation medal. Right, moving on. So we had the German police decided they wanted a little jaunt to Portugal, didn't they? We're going to go and search for Madeleine again.
This whole thing, I mean, this is like 12 years ago or more. How long ago was this case? And I just don't. I mean, given how many kids go missing every single year, the fact that there's still so much money and resources and time being devoted to this one case is just not. It's fishy as hell. And you do get the impression that these detectives just want a free paid holiday to Portugal every year.
Yeah, well, you do. I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous. And let's face it, without saying it, we all know what happened to Maddie. Yeah? We all know.
Well, yeah, I mean, without
saying it. Right.
Yes.
I don't know if did you send me this? Or was this one of mine?
No.
So this guy apparently has been banned from Facebook. This is the world's smartest man. You know this guy with the IQ of 190 to 210.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of Christopher Langan, right? He's an arsehole, but smart people generally are. I mean, look at me. But yeah, so that's the world's smartest man, allegedly. And he came out with this whole thing about, why are we importing people that effectively have an IQ that's less than a gorilla?
Right.
Like got himself. I mean, the thing is, the guy's right. But you
I'm
can't
not
say
gonna
anything.
disagree.
What?
No, but this is the world that we live in now. You can't.
I know. You can't talk about it.
Speak your mind, because you'll just get banned and cancelled and
I know, it's crazy.
vilified and thrown out of a steakhouse.
Mm. Speaking of getting thrown out of a steakhouse, there you go. Why did he get thrown out of a steakhouse? Do you know?
Because he was making someone in the restaurant, either a customer or staff, feel uncomfortable. Literally no other reason. They were all perfectly polite, very well behaved, very quiet. They just wanted to have a nice steak. And Hawksmoor have absolutely killed their reputation. Because when you think about it, the wokies that don't like Tommy Robinson,
shocking.
They all eat tofu and avocado. They're not steak eaters. They're all talking soy boys here. So Hawksmoor is shooting themselves in the foot, because the people who support, and I don't like Tommy Robinson, just for the record, but a man has a right to have a steak. But when you're actually going to alienate your most likely segment of the population is going to come to your steakhouse and eat your nice red meat, you're a pretty stupid steakhouse, in my opinion.
Well, Ray, you're probably let's Ray on the chat is pushing back against you, right? He thinks you're wrong on this occasion, but to be fair, Ray, you're kind of a standout in the chat, and I've got to give you credit, mate, because you come in every week, and you're kind of you're the kind of the voice of the left in the chat room, isn't he?
Yeah. Like I said,
you got to give him credit.
The thing is that this is about, we live in a free society, and it's if you go to a restaurant and you sit quietly and you order some food and you talk amongst yourselves, you should have every right to do that. Just because of who you are should not get you kicked out of a steakhouse or a library or anywhere else. And
to be fair, you're right. Regardless of your political views, you shouldn't be.
I mean, it's, and I don't agree, and I agree with what Ray said about him being a Zionist, because he is.
Yeah.
And I've seen some pictures of him in t-shirts and stuff. I don't like the man. I don't trust the man. I think he's part of a bigger agenda. But that's not the point. It's about being kicked out of a restaurant for being who you are, for being just a person. And I mean, you're not committing any crime. You're not causing any disturbance. You're not breaking any peace. You're not doing anything except wanting to have a steak, and you get kicked out. I mean, restaurants like that deserve to be boycotted, and they deserve to just go down the toilet.
Yeah, I'm with Ed on this one. And hey, good news, Ed. We're just over the hour, and we're just over the halfway mark. So
well done.
So we're getting there. We're getting there. The halfway mark was 33 of 66. I'm just going to watch people melt down now. Talking about melting down. This has to be one of the best. This has to be one of the best clips of video that you've ever seen. Yeah. Rachel from Accounts, or as I prefer to call her, Rachel from Complaints, making a speech that nobody actually listened to because they were too busy watching this guy going through mental anguish.
Yeah, he's literally representing the entire population. This guy is, I mean, he's going to be famous.
Yeah, he is.
And you've got to feel sorry for these poor bastards that they've had to show up. They're probably having to take break time. Mm-hmm. Like unpaid break time or whatever, and the boss says, "No, you've got to go and stand behind the chancellor."
Yeah,
and she stands there waffling on and spouting her absolute unique brand of bollocks. And I don't know. I just think he spoke for all of us.
What did she think when she came out of the house this morning wearing that? I mean, that doesn't look like something that you should be going to do a presentation in.
No, not really. It's not. I mean, it's not particularly businesslike.
I mean, you'd nip down Tesco's in it, but I don't think you would go and do a presentation in front of the nation.
But this whole, I mean, it's kind of an Americanism. Why do they have to have people standing behind them? Why can't they just give a speech and just do it in front of a plain background or something? Why do they have to make these poor bastards stand there on camera?
Because
listening
it connects
to
them to the people.
Woman talk.
Connects them to the people, Ed.
But that's what they think, but it just makes them look completely disconnected, especially like this. There's literally not one of those people standing behind her looks like they want to be there, or looks like that they support her or agree with her. Or, I mean,
that guy's like
painful.
That guy's an absolute classic.
This one will live. This particular meme is never going to go away.
No, it's not. It's not going away. Right. So Labour are going to, when they have the parliamentary time, they're going to try and push through bringing down the voting age to 16 for all. What do you think of that?
This is the other one's sister as well, just so people know. This is Ellie Reeves.
Is that her sister?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Good God. Well, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they're expecting to achieve by bringing the voting age down to 16. I don't.
Well, I know what they're intending to achieve. They did it in Scotland, didn't they? Because they think young people are more easily persuaded to be more. Well, normally, in Scotland, they looked at it from the point of view that the younger people were more nationalistic and were more likely to vote for the SNP. Because it was generally the older generation that voted against the SNP, and it was certainly the older generation that voted against the dissolution of the union. So thanks. Yeah, I'll take your thank yous.
Well, I mean, at the rate that the rate the government are treating everybody, this might not be such a good idea, because they'll just have an entire new age group of people that hate them.
Well, yes, that's a possibility, but generally 16-year-olds don't vote Tory. I mean, when I was 16, I was pretty much convinced that communism was the one true path.
Which is probably why they want 16-year-olds to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And given the state of the education system, if we had a decent education system that was producing well-educated, intelligent, teenagers capable of critical thinking, then this I think this was a better idea. But they're not. They're just producing woke little robots.
Hold on a minute. Did you get kicked out, Harold? Kicked out of what, mate? You shouldn't have been kicked out of anything, should you? Anyway, right. Anyway, he was on the vertical chat and said, "Hi, who got kicked out? I don't know." Right. Anyway, where are we? Range age 21? Maybe, yeah. Maybe I think that might be reasonable, Dave. 30? I mean, I'll be honest. Even 21-year-olds are making some really poor decisions, aren't they, Julie? It's just...
I didn't know my ass from my elbow when I was 21.
Exactly. Your
the problem is at that age you think you know everything and you actually know nothing.
Yeah, I think 25 is a reasonable starting point, probably. Right, anyway, moving on. This guy's, he's a joke, isn't he? Every citizen has a role to play in putting Britain on a war footing. Says, why are we going on a war footing? Who's threatening us?
No one. Because the Russian embassy already said in big capital letters, we have no intention of invading. We're not a threat to Britain. Why would we? We don't want your stupid little island with all your woke idiots on it. We're not a threat. But the government has to have a threat, because if they don't have a threat, then people will start paying more attention to how much they're bollocksing everything up. And I mean, the guy's delusional if he thinks that anyone's going to fight for him to start with.
Yeah, he pretty much is, mate. He is. So Julie says brain development stops at 25. So if brain development stops at 25, you really shouldn't be making solid decisions before that, should you? Anyway, let's move on. And speaking of speaking of the Welsh, they've got a lovely turn of phrase, haven't they? I came here to swim, not marinate in bum broth.
Well, this just speaks to just how rubbish the water companies are. I mean, we've got a government that wants to go to war and it can't fix the roads. We've got sewage in the waters. I mean, what the hell?
I think that's tremendous. We came here to swim, not marinate in bum broth. I'm not in a good place right now. Are you in Great Britain? Yeah, I am.
That was a funny one.
Yeah, it was. The UK, and on a more serious note, Business Insider tells us the UK is the second most miserable country in the world. Uzbekistan Stan apparently beats us.
I very much doubt it. I bet your average Uzbek is happier than your average Brit.
Probably.
But it's true. I mean, this is the state of the government. Just don't get me started. I'll end up getting the channel banned.
Can I actually read this out? It was confirmed in the Scottish COVID inquiry that hospitals were, in fact, empty.
Well, we're now in the thin ice zone.
Yeah, we are. But you know, that's an actual government inquiry that has made an actual finding. So it would be churlish to not be able to report it. Surely.
Well, that wouldn't stop our friends at GooTube from.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, we can put the counterpoint that indeed they were absolutely stowed with dancing nurses, all awaiting their pleasure to be able to attend to you as soon as you were rushed in there and attended to quickly and dispatched expeditedly.
Absolutely. It's just yet another example of Oh, look, another conspiracy theory turned out to be true.
Oh, Johnny Judge says you're wrong, Ed. You're simply wrong. I think Dilbert was it? No, it wasn't Dilbert. What was it? Scott Adams. What was the place that was full of mud? Elbonia. I think that's Uzbekistan, isn't it? Elbonia. What was that cartoon? I can't remember. Anyway, it's having a wrong day. It says, they're ganging up on you, mate. This is bullying.
Well,
Control room are bullying you.
Do whatever the fuck they like. I don't care.
Oh, dear. And on a sad note, footballer 35 collapses on pitch and dies just hours after sending profound message to fans about life. That's a shame.
Yeah, this used to happen. This has happened all my life. The 35-year-old footballers have always collapsed and died for no apparent reason.
Yeah. And there's not... I mean, I'd actually published something last week about Euromomo, and we're not as high as we were in 2023, but we're higher now than we were in 2024 for excess stopping life. Strange, that. Strange. Wonder what could be causing it. But anyway, Madame Tussauds rejects Keir Starmer's waxwork amid fears he will become irrelevant. Become, you say?
I think they actually rejected it because they're worried about the amount of vandalism that would happen to it.
Yeah.
And also, it's so boring. I mean, it's just uninteresting.
It's like the same version of John Major, isn't he? Him and John Major are exact duplicates. Anyway, speaking about
John Major had arguably more charisma.
Says Edwina Curry. How could you? I mean, Edwina Curry. Oh my god. Anyway, so let me say, you know how Starmer's menage a trois has expanded? A fourth older man has been arrested.
Oh dear. It's just this, and yeah, there's more to this story than we're being led to believe. The whole thing is.
I think anyone with any kind of common sense knows exactly what the hell he's done and what's going on, and it's just been covered up. It's just being covered up. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt whatsoever. Oh. So, revealed, Sir Keir's family castle. The Labour leader talked about rural poverty in his childhood. He didn't mention that his grandfather lived in Murden Castle and his great-uncle was chairman of the Godstone Conservative Association. Well, nearly. His grandfather didn't live in a castle. He lived in a cottage in the grounds because he was the gamekeeper. I mean, I lived in a cottage on the Earl of Dunfermline's estate. Does that make me the Earl of Dunfermline? No, it does not.
Well, yeah, but that's still...
Yeah, but...
I mean,
yeah, but what?
Yeah, but no, but... Yeah, but no, but... I mean, the simple fact of the matter is that for Sir Keir to talk about childhood poverty or understanding what it's like to do a hard day's work is just a complete nonsense. So it's like the quote, I think we covered it last week, where he said, I know exactly what it's like to work in a factory because my father did. No, he owned the factory.
And that's what I was going to say. To be fair, Keir has never purported to know what it's like to have done a full day's work. He's only ever said he knows because his father did it. Now, I didn't live in a castle, mate. I lived in a gatehouse. I lived in the gatehouse of the Earl of Dumfries's. The Earl of Dumfries, not Dumfries, the Earl of Dunfermline's estate, which was rented by the Navy because my dad was based at Rosyth, Petrevy to be precise. Anyway, moving on. I'm not. Speaking of cocks, that's a cake that to me seems particularly phallic. It just doesn't seem to have worked correctly, does it? Something's gone wrong
I don't know
there.
what this cake. I don't
It's
know
a Swiss
what the
roll.
cake maker was trying to achieve.
Well, it's just
a Swiss roll.
Yeah, I don't know what he's tried
It's
to
a
achieve.
failure.
He's failed. It's just a Swiss roll, but it's.
Is it handmade or machine made?
I don't know. You're asking me questions that I don't know. Right.
Epic fail.
Epic fail. And speaking of cocks, Ashton Forbes.
Oh God.
I didn't.
We need a jingle for John's Ashton Forbes rant.
So we do actually. I didn't come across this myself. It was sent to me because I don't follow him anymore, as you know. But this doesn't sound like the ramblings of a sane man, does it? Keep doubling down. I want you to have no choice in the future but to accept that you were wrong, that you're a terrible person, that you're a complete idiot. I want you to have a psychological break when forced to accept reality. Just remember, I won't forgive you later. No apologies. Everything you're dishing out is coming back at you 100 times, and it's your fault.
What the hell was he replying to? Not that it really matters.
It doesn't really matter, but that's not... I mean, this is... These kind of millennials, this is what they come out with all the time. They're off
He
their
should
trolley.
he should write a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Because that, I mean, if you're trying to convince people of something, then that's not the way to do it. Sometimes it's better to just ignore people instead of replying to them and making a complete tit of yourself.
Indeed. Oh, we've had that one. We used that earlier.
And also make yourself look like really not a very nice person.
Speaking of both of the things you just said, Hollywood actor Danny DeVito has left his fans disturbed, quite literally, after revealing to Variety magazine that he had so much lust for Catwoman actress Michelle Pfeiffer that he wanted everyone else to vanish so as he could have her to himself.
That is pretty much the only good thing about that piece of crap film.
Yeah. DeVito's not exactly covered himself in glory here, is he?
Well, no, because I mean, the pay. Look, just I only watched that movie because of Michelle Pfeiffer. So,
but bloody hell, man, that's a. Well, why does he feel the need to tell the world that he lusted after Michelle Pfeiffer in such a way that he was prepared to snap everyone out of existence and have his wicked way with her? Oh.
I don't know. Maybe he was drunk.
So apparently France has finally agreed to intercept migrant boats. Oh, really? Why? Why would they do that? Oh, probably because Starmer and Macron, I think they have a certain Gallic dalliance, shall we say.
So what have we been paying those cheese-eating surrender monkeys £500 million a year for?
Nothing. Pretty much nothing.
I mean, it's just, what the hell?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, what the hell? Literally, what the hell? Right, I wish everything was as easy as getting fat. Yep, me too. It's easy to get fat, but it really takes an effort to get rid of it, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does.
Oh. Me spying on the new neighbours to make sure they aren't weirdos.
John, we need to have less of these selfies, please. Seriously.
It's like cracking on that.
Honestly.
Anyway, right, 3 Britons could face death penalty in Bali over charges of smuggling cocaine and Angel Delight sachets. Why have they dressed them as waiters? What is all that about?
I don't know. They kind of, yeah, waiters or, something, circus performers. But how do you get the idea? I mean, okay, so it's well known that Bali has Indonesia generally has very strict anti-drugs policies where you can get, and so you're going to actually risk smuggling cocaine in Angel Delight sachets. You're just asking for trouble. Literally.
Johnny John's having a go at you again. I'm certain that's not Ed. Looking for Stephanie. Oh, sorry, he says Meagle.
Ever.
Have you seen Stephanie yet? Did you see her today?
No, I haven't seen Stephanie for the last couple of days. It's been too windy. But she's also
the car.
Well, no, they're nesting as well. So she's probably sitting on a nest, breeding on those little flying shitheads.
Oh, God. Right. Anyway, moving on. Afghan people smugglers get 8 months for selling tickets for the death boat. So 2 Afghan boat captains who smuggled more than 70 migrants into UK were jailed for just 8 months after a woman and a child died on the dangerously overcrowded vessel.
I thought that dickhead in Downing Street was going to smash the gangs and stop the boats.
Yeah, well, apparently.
Well,
so they were arrested.
Clearly not.
They were arrested after.
Lucy Connolly got
Hold on.
31 months.
Whoa. Can we just
Wanker.
We'll get there. They were both arrested after the boat crossed the channel and landed on the Kent coast on 21st of May after they set sail from Calais. A woman and a child were pulled off the craft by a French coastal patrol vessel, but declared DOA at hospital. Now, as you said, 8 months for actually killing migrants, and what was it, 2.5 years? Was it 3 years? What is it that Lucy's serving for?
31 months.
31 months for actually not killing anyone, just suggesting that, in her opinion, it didn't really matter. That's justice.
Well, yeah, we don't have justice in this stupid little country anymore. We have this politicized woke nonsense where you'll get let off for being a rampant paedophile. Or what was the other story this week? There's someone that's been arrested a second time.
Oh, for the 125,000 damages. Yeah.
And the judge said, "Oh, you're going to have a hard time in prison because you're trans, so I won't send you to jail." I mean, what the hell is wrong with the judiciary in this country and paedophiles? Seriously.
It's corrupt. I've told you it's corrupt. Well, I can tell you exactly what's wrong with the judiciary and that word that you just used because, well, in fact, I'm not even going to mention it because we'll just get ourselves some bother. Let's move on. So Pride tweeted, "We see you." So 2024, these are all these corporate logos at this particular month. And in 2025, people might be starting to wake up. And apparently Marvel have come up with a white Black Panther in their comic. I don't know why.
Shouldn't it be called White Panther then?
I would have thought so.
I mean, and this rainbow stuff, I think I'm noticing less of the extreme June rainbow stupidity this year than previous years.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're starting to cotton on that it's all just a bit lame.
I think it's starting to tone down, mate. I think it's starting to tone down. But you'll be the better judge because you are in the hubbub of it, are you not?
Oh, this whole freaking town is basically rainbows. I mean, I had a message, I had an email from Brighton Buses saying, "Come and help choose our new livery for Pride June." It's like, oh my God. And it's worse here because we have the whole month of June. And then we get a little bit of a break during July. And then in August, we have the actual Brighton Pride, which is hundreds of thousands of LGBTQ2I plus whatever it is now, people descending on this town and just getting up to all sorts of sordid things.
Okay. Right. Well, moving on from that. Dear Deirdre, please help me. My neighbour's 20-year-old daughter was sunbathing the other day. I took the chance to peek out of her bedroom window and have it cheeky, self-loving. As I finished, I turned around and my wife was standing there, arms folded, watching me. Is my wife a pervert?
Oh dear.
I think that has tickled you, Ed.
Just a little bit.
Little bit. Chrissy Mayer, who is a comedian in America, and she's not too bad for a woman. Yes, I'm misogynist, but what can I say? I admit it. Women aren't generally that funny. Generally, okay? Generally. This isn't that impressive, she says. Seen these people in New Orleans painted in silver holding that pose for hours. This is a fentanyl guy in LA. That's one weird drug, though, isn't it? I mean,
it's very strange. I've never seen anything like it. You see some of those, like, and they hang in the most.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It was a video and the guy's not moving. He's just, like, frozen there.
It's absolutely bizarre. And then you just, I mean, don't get it. Why would you take something that did that to you? What the hell?
What might feel good? I think Ben said something about it. Anyway, right, we're on to the really crazy stuff that's happening this week. Tourists have started cancelling Japan trips in large numbers after psychic artist predicts real catastrophe to strike soon. A decade-old manga prophecy by Ryo Tuzaki predicting a major disaster in July 2025 is causing widespread anxiety and travel cancellations to Japan. Tatsuki's past predictions, including the 2011 Tohoku earthquake, add to the fear, despite seismologists' warnings. So, this guy who predicted this in some manga thing has turned tourists off Japan. We'll find out.
Seen this story.
We'll find out. You've seen it?
No, I haven't seen the story, and I'm not a follower of manga, so I'd never even heard of the guy.
So it's a she apparently.
No.
Due to her uncanny accurate predictions in her 1999 comic book, The Future I Saw. Big, huge wave coming in. Right, anyway, we'll find out soon enough. I think it's to hit on July the 5th, according to the prediction. So, there we go. Next one, and weird and wonderful things that happened this week. So, this woman she took a photograph of her coffee grounds and let ChatGPT read them. And then she filed for divorce after ChatGPT explained that these coffee grounds showed that there was a significant other woman in her partner's life, whose name began with an E or something like that. And it wasn't her. So she has filed for divorce. That's got
to be one of. I mean, I've seen some dumb things this week, but that has got to be in the top 10. I mean, if you're gonna,
you think that's in the top 10, there's more to come. There's more to come.
I'm sure there is, but I mean, okay, people. AI has its uses. This is not one of them.
Yeah. So I'll give you the full story. A Greek woman filed for divorce after asking ChatGPT to analyze coffee ground patterns in her and her husband's cups. The AI told her there was another woman in her life, someone younger with the initial E, who was supposedly his destined partner. She divorced her husband of 12 years within 3 days based on the digital fortune telling.
That's just absurd. I mean, you would think that the judge would be like, no, I think you need some counselling.
Yeah, that's nuts. That is absolute nuts. But you think that's bad? I'm working up to the really bad ones. Police discovered drugs in a bag labelled definitely not a bag of drugs. So Florida woman Taryn Ackley was arrested carrying a tote bag literally labelled definitely not a bag full of drugs. Spoiler alert, it was absolutely full of drugs. Meth, needles, scales, baggies, the works. The sheriff joked, the bag was filled with snacks. Nah, just kidding. It was actually full of drugs. How the hell do you... I mean, what the fuck? Was she working on the reverse psychology principle?
Maybe. That's the only thing I could think of. I mean...
And I have 2 slides left. We've made it, mate. We've actually made it in well within our allotted 2 hours. And I do note, though, that there has been no donations tonight. So I'm not going to push people that have already donated, but, you know, the ones that haven't, you're you're going to have to suffer adverts next week if this doesn't happen. So, on your heads be it. Remember, the value for value model is we give you value and we expect a little value back because we're not running adverts. So don't get any money off this stream, remember? Right, here we go. It's two slides left and the second last one. And I think probably the classic, this is probably one of the most absurd things I've heard this week. So, US researcher proposes detonating massive nuclear bomb under the ocean to save the Earth.
Been sequestered 30 years. Okay.
Right, so...
Anytime any kind of researcher proposes detonating nuclear bombs, they need to be locked up. Literally, just lock them up, throw away the key, and just write them off.
So, a US researcher is proposing detonating an 81 gigaton nuclear bomb under the ocean in order to vaporize the basalt on the ocean floor, which will then sequester something like what is it? How many years of carbon? The study claimed 30 years worth of carbon. We don't need it. Go and look at Willie's. I should have put some of Willie's graphs in. Willie's graphs are fantastic. But
this is just, I mean,
I think 66 slides was enough.
These climate zealots, they get more and more batshit crazy, and they know nothing about science. I mean, there's supposedly scientists and researchers that don't understand carbon cycles. They don't understand the impact of the sun on the climate. I mean, they're just retards. Complete retards.
Climate changes. It changes on a daily or even hourly basis on occasion.
The climate hasn't stopped changing for 4 billion freaking years.
Climate changes. 100%. Right. Anything else you want to talk about, Ed? Anything else, mate?
I think we covered everything, dude. Certainly can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Anything the troll room want to talk about? Yorkshire lad says save the whales. Imagine how many whales that would kill if you set an 81 gigaton nuclear bomb off right at the bottom of the ocean. How many whales and dolphins and fish would you kill?
Well, they don't care as long as they can sequester their carbon. They're just
crazy.
They are just so completely mental that it's scary.
It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, it's just the fact that these people are being listened to, the fact that they're being paid money to do this nonsense that supposedly passes for research, or at least what they call research. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The whole thing is just stupid.
Indeed it is. So, there we go. I think we've only got one slide left, and then it's going to be our outro. So thank you very much for attending this Friday night, because I think it's been a blast. We've covered a lot of ground. We've covered a lot of ground tonight. I don't know if Elon and Trump will get back together. I really don't care, to be fair. It was funny though. Last night was funny, especially.
It was so much fun, but it was actually more fun watching the reactions of some of the people that were just having so much fun at Musk and Trump's expense. It was brilliant. One of the best nights on Twitter that we've had in a while.
I'd be all look at my doll. Fuck that asshole. Now remember, there's always a choice, people. And, you can say what you think these days. You can say what you think. So with that, it's been great for you.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink, cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this